So taking a moment to ground yourself and close your eyes. You can take your hands in prayer position if you want. Find your Ujjayi breath, inhaling through your nose, exhaling through your nose, trying to keep your navel drawn gently to your spine. And engaging Uddiyana Bandha, the muscles below your navel, drawing gently back towards your spine. And then engaging Mula Bandha, the muscles of your pelvic floor. So engaging your pelvic floor, you can imagine it lifting up gently like an elevator floor. Taking one more breath. And as you exhale, let your hands come down to your sides, eyes coming open, starting with Surya Namaskara A. So on an inhale, take your hands up over your head, gazing at your thumbs. Exhale, fold. Take your hands down to the floor outside your feet, palms down if you can. Then inhale, look forward, lengthen your back. Then exhale, back into Chaturanga, little push-up. Inhaling, rolling into up dog. Exhaling into down dog. Stepping your feet a little closer to your hands if your down dog feels really wide. Your drishti here is a gentle gaze point between your knees. And lifting your kneecaps, engaging your quad muscles, your thigh muscles. Taking one more breath. And as you exhale, looking forward, then inhale, walking or jumping your feet between your hands. Eyes lift, long spine. Then exhale, folding forward. And inhale, coming up to stand, arms up, drishti is your thumbs. Exhaling, samastitihi. We're going to do 4 more. So inhaling, arms up. Press your palms together, exhale, fold, hands down to the floor outside your feet. Inhale, lift Uddiyana Bandha as you look forward, and exhale, back into Chaturanga. Inhale, opening your collarbones and up dog. Exhaling into down dog. Breathing here. Feel your hands on the mat, fingers spread wide. Feel your feet on the mat, lifting kneecaps, engaging thigh muscles. One more breath. And as you exhale, looking forward, coming forward, eyes lifting. Exhale, fold. Inhale, coming all the way up to stand, press your palms. Exhaling, samastitihi. Let's do 3 more, doing it at your breath's pace. So listen to yourself, go inwards. Let your neck be relaxed in down dog. In your down dog, think about the side of your body getting longer. Keep engaging your thigh muscles. Let's do one more Sun Salute A. I hope we're kind of on the same timing here. If your heels don't touch the ground in down dog, that's absolutely fine. Sometimes it's not a matter of the hamstrings, it can also be a matter of the Achilles tendons. And tendons aren't meant to stretch. So it's fine if your heels don't reach the ground. Okay, assuming we're all back at Samasthiti, let's do Surya Namaskara B now. So as you inhale, bend your knees, Utkatasana, as your arms come up. Then exhale, fold, hands down to the floor outside your feet again. Straighten your knees as best as you can. Inhale, look up. Try and keep your fingertips or your palms on the floor. Exhale, back into Chaturanga. And it helps to look slightly forward as you lower down. Inhaling into up dog. Try and keep your ankles, your heels from falling away from each other. Try and keep them together. And then exhale into down dog. Coming to Virabhadrasana, step your left foot forward, angle it a little bit. Right foot comes all the way up by your hand. Bend your right knee, find your feet. Inhale up, then exhaling. Back down into Chaturanga, looking slightly forward. Inhaling, up dog. Exhaling, down dog. Virabhadrasana, left foot forward. Angle your right foot first. Step forward with your left foot, bending your left knee. Inhaling up. Exhaling, back into Chaturanga. Inhaling, up dog. Exhaling, down dog. We're holding here for 5 breaths. Again, find your Ujjayi breath. Find your Dristi. Engage Uddiyana Bandha, Mula Bandha, your kneecaps. Taking one more breath. And on your exhale, looking forward. Then inhale, walk or jump your feet between your hands. Eyes lifting, lift your navel too. Exhale, fold. Then inhale, Utkatasana, bending your knees, arms up. Exhaling, Samasthiti. We'll do 2 more. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhaling, up dog. Exhaling, down dog. Virabhadrasana, right foot coming forward. Make sure your knee points between second and third toes, so your knee's not falling inward or outward. Exhaling back to Chaturanga. Inhale, think about sternum pressing forward and up dog. Exhaling, down dog. Virabhadrasana, left foot coming forward. And make sure your knee is tracking between your second and third toes, so not falling inward or outward. Chaturanga. Enjoying the up dog. Exhaling, down dog. As you exhale, looking forward, inhale, feet between hands, eyes lift, exhale, fold, inhaling, Uttanasana, arms up, gaze at your thumbs, exhale, Samastitihi. Doing one more Surya Namaskara beat, inhaling, Uttanasana, exhaling, Uttanasana, inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, exhale, Chaturanga, inhaling, pointing your toes back up, dog, exhaling, down dog, Virabhadrasana, right foot coming forward. You can lift your hand up a little bit to let your foot come forward, knee tracking straight ahead, gaze at your thumbs, exhaling back into Chaturanga, inhaling, up dog, exhaling, down dog, Virabhadrasana, left foot coming forward, inhaling up, exhaling back into Chaturanga. If the Chaturangas are getting too much for you, you can drop your knees down to the floor, lower your chest down, and then roll into up dog. Exhaling down dog. One more breath. As you exhale, looking forward, inhale, feet between hands, eyes lifting, navel lifts to spine, exhale, fold. Inhaling, Uttanasana, exhale, Samastitihi. Now we're going to start with the first standing posture, so take your feet hip width apart, hands on your waist. Inhaling nice and tall, and exhale, fold, hinging from the hips if you can. Hooking your big toes. You can bend your knees if you need to. And exhale, fold. Let the top of your head drop down to the floor. Keep your legs engaged. If you press your heels into the floor slightly away from each other, it helps to engage the backs of your legs. One more breath. And as you inhale, looking up, now we're going to change hand positions. We're going to stand on our hands or our fingertips. Again, your knees can be bent if you need to. And you're going to fold. Let your neck be nice and long. Your next inhale, looking up. Exhaling, hands to waist. Inhale, come all the way up to stand. Exhale, Samastitihi. A Trikonasana now. So let's take a quarter turn out to the right. Pivot on your right heel so your right toes face the back of your mat. Left foot angles in. Arms reach out in a T. You can bend your knee if you need to. Straight knee if you can. You can take your ankle, your shin, your ankle, or if you can, hook your big toe. And if you can, gaze up to your left thumb. If your shoulder bothers, you can also leave your hand on your waist. Try and keep your thigh muscles engaged. It helps to keep your balance. Pull navel in. And inhaling, coming up. Now you're going to pivot your right foot halfway in. Left toes face the front of your mat. And now you're going to take either your shin, your ankle, or your big toe, or you can put your hand on a block if you need to. Again, hand can stay on your waist if your shoulder bothers you, or you can take it straight up. Keep pressing into your feet. Keep pulling navel in. Coming up on an inhale for Pavrita Trikonasana, Revolve Triangle. So now since we're going to be revolving, what you want to do is make sure your heels are not lined up behind each other. Step one foot out slightly away from the other, reaching your left hand forward. Take it down to the floor outside your right foot. Right hand reaches up to the ceiling. Think about The tops of your thighs scissoring towards each other to keep Mula Bandha engaged. Trying to find length in your torso. Coming up on an inhale. Now we're going to turn to the front of your mat. Again, make sure you're not standing on a tightrope. But if your stance is too wide, then it makes for a very awkward Pavrita Trikonasana. So feet are just about hip width apart. Right hand coming forward. Take it to the mat outside your left foot. Left hand goes up to the ceiling. Again, think about the inside, the tops of your thighs scissoring towards each other. Again, trying to find length in your torso. Pull in Uddiyana Bandha. One more breath. Exhale, looking down. Inhale, coming up to stand. And exhale, returning to Samastitihi. Pashwa Kanasana now. So again, a quarter turn to right, but this time take a longer step. Pivot on your right heel so your toes face the back of your mat. This time you're going to bend your right knee. If you can, take your hand down to the floor outside your foot. Left hand goes diagonal over your ear, or you can rest your forearm on your thigh, or put a block down. Again, make sure your knee is going between your second and your third toe so it's not falling in or falling out. Inhale, coming up. Turn your right foot, angle it in, left toes face the front of the mat. Again, taking a modification if you need to. Now for Revolved Kanasana. It may help to drop your back knee to the ground. Use your right hand to hold your right leg in place. So you cross your left arm over your body. Put your hands in prayer position. Press down with your hands to help. That helps your left tricep to hold your leg in place. Look in the direction your elbow is pointing. Inhale, coming up, turning to the front of your mat, dropping your right knee to the ground, and twisting, taking your elbow over your body, hands in prayer position, straighten your back leg. One more breath. Exhale, looking down. Inhale, coming up to stand. Exhale, return to Samastitihi. Now for the Prasarita Padotanasanas, again a quarter turn to right, but this time take a longer step out, and this time your feet stay parallel to each other, hands on your waist. Inhale, nice and tall, drop your tailbone. Exhale as you fold. Put your hands down on the floor, underneath your shoulders. Your hands are shoulder width apart. Inhale, one more time, look forward, and then exhale. Sliding your hands back between your feet. So if you can get your head on the floor, that's great. But it's not a requirement. The important thing is strong legs here. Try and open the backs of your knees as much as possible. One more breath. And as you inhale, slide your hands forward again. Exhale, hands to weight, strong legs. Inhale, come all the way up to stand. Exhale. Inhale, arms out, reach out in the T. Exhale, back to your waist. Inhaling nice and tall. And this time your hands stay on your waist, so be strong in your legs. And try and find length in your neck, length in your side body. Being slightly pigeon-toed in this pose helps too. And inhaling, coming all the way back up. For the third position, it may be helpful to take your feet a little wider apart. Inhaling, arms T. Exhale, clasp your hands behind your back, or you can take your forearms if you're clasping your hands is a little much for you, and then exhale, folding. If your hands can reach the floor, go ahead and let your hands reach down to the floor. And inhale, coming back up to stand. Exhale, hands to waist. You might want to walk your feet back in a little bit. Exhale. Last position. Inhaling tall, no arms teen in this one. Exhale, fold. This time you reach out and hook your big toes, palms facing each other. Inhale, nice and long, and then exhale, fold. And try and keep your thumbs off the floor. It forces you to use your legs more. Be more in your feet. So again, thinking about heels pressing into the mat and away from each other, and you can feel the backs of your legs getting more activated. And inhale, halfway back up. Nice long spine. Exhale, hands to waist. Inhale, come all the way up to stand, and then return to Samastitihi. We're going to do one more standing posture before we go to the seated postures. So taking your hands in prayer position behind your back. If this is a little much, you can also clasp your forearms instead. Take a quarter turn out to the right. Pivot your right toes to face the back of your mat. Left foot angles. And make sure you're not on a tightrope. Pressing your left hip bone forward. Keep your right hip bone lifted as you fold down over your right leg. Inhale, coming back up. Exhale, you're going to turn to the front of your mat. Again, check your feet position. Don't be on a tightrope. And then exhale, folding. If you can't go all the way down, that's fine. The Patabi Joy says, practice and all will come. He didn't say how long it's going to take for all to come, but that's all right. Then inhale, coming back up to stand. Exhale, Samastitihi. I'm skipping the last three standing positions just so you know. I'm going to vinyasa to the floor. So inhaling, arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, looking up. Exhale, back into chaturanga. Inhaling, up dog. Exhaling, down dog. And then coming down to sit in Dandasana. The reason I'm skipping some of the postures is I want to throw in some second series postures. So I've got to kind of keep an awareness of the time. So sitting in Dandasana, pressing through the balls of your feet. So it's not pointed toes, it's not flexed feet, it's somewhere in between. Your thigh muscles are engaged. Pull in Uddiyana Bandha. Back of your neck is nice and long. One more breath. And now Paschimottanasana. And reach forward, take your big toes. You can bend your knees if you need to. You can use a belt if you need to. And exhale, folding forward. Keep your thigh muscles engaged. Keep your feet active. Take attention to your shoulders. See if they're starting to crawl up around your ears. Try and relax your shoulders. Let your elbows rest on the ground, that's fine. Then inhale, looking up, and really open your collarbones, lengthen your spine, changing hand positions. Either take the sides of your feet, or if you can, take the bind. And again, exhale, folding forward. Let your elbows rest on the ground. Listen to your breath. One more breath. And as you inhale, look forward, open your collarbones. Exhale, release. And now we're going to vinyasa to the next position. And I'm also going to show you some modifications, other options to the vinyasa. Somebody asked me how many vinyasas we do in the practice, and I've never counted. All I know is it's a whole lot. So a modification, the simplest one is if you're really tired, you just wait till I tell you what the next posture is. Or you can do, we call it take it up. So you're gonna cross your legs, put your hands down on the floor, pull your knees up as high as you can, lift, lift. And if you can see, you gotta really use your back muscles. And then see if you can get your feet up a little bit. And then relax, release down. If your wrists are bothering you, you can also do a Navasana. You can bend your knees, hold the back of the knees, but just try and do a nice Navasana. Or you can do a full Navasana. Try not to do a sinking boat Navasana though, okay? So if this is as high as you can get your feet, as long as you keep your chest lifted, that's fine. So those are some other options to the vinyasa. Okay. Pavrita, the counter pose to the asana we just did. Point your toes, put your hands around your back, and you gotta find where the right position is for you. Think about dropping your hips down, sink your belly down first, because now you're gonna press your heels toward, you're gonna lift your hips up. And if you can, let your head drop back. Keep pressing through your hands, keep reaching your toes to the floor, keep pushing your hips up to the ceiling. One more breath. Coming down. Transitioning, whichever option you choose to do. And returning to seated. The next asana is a half-bound lotus. So extend your left leg, pressing through the ball of your foot. Bring your right foot up in half lotus. If putting your foot up on your thigh is a little bit too much, you can leave your foot on the floor and tuck it under your thigh. Another option is to put a block under your knee to support it if your knee is floating. Try and pull your foot closer to your body. Now you can either, at this point, take both hands forward and fold, or if you can, reach your right hand around your back, take your left foot, and then fold forward. If you cannot fold forward, this is fine too. If you can't quite reach your foot, you can put a belt around your foot, and that's fine too. Just keep pressing your foot into the belt. Keeping your leg active. Then inhale, coming up. And now we're going to transition to the opposite side. So whatever your choice is. And this time we're going to extend our left leg and put our right foot up in half lotus. And you may notice a big difference between the two sides. That's very, very common. So again, you can either take both hands forward, or if you can, reach your left hand around behind, grab your left toes, right hand comes to your foot, and exhale, folding. Inhale, looking forward, lengthen your back, exhale, release. Now we're going to vinyasa or transition to the next asana, Triangle Mukha. So for Triangle Mukha, your left leg is going to be forward and your right leg is going to fold back. If the pressure on your foot is a little bit much, what you can do is put a block and sit on a block. That'll take some of the pressure off your knee and the top of your foot. Now again, you can use a belt, around your foot. Press your foot into the belt so you can open your chest and hinge from the hips. You can also bend your knee a little bit if you need to, or if you can fold and take the bind. If you feel like you're falling over, press into you're going to feel like you're rolling to the left. Press into the back of your left leg into the ground. That'll help to level you off. Inhale, coming up, long spine. Exhale, release. Going to transition to right leg forward and left leg folded back. Again, active foot, folding forward. Bring some attention to your shoulders. How are your shoulders doing? Are they crawling up around your ears? Again, if you feel like you're falling to the right, press the back of your right leg into the mat. And on your next inhale, look forward, open your collarbones, lengthen your back. Exhale, release. I'm going to vinyasa or transition to Janusz Asanasi A. Janusz Asanasi A, left leg is extended, but this time you're going to draw the bottom of your right foot to the inside of your left thigh. Take a look at your left leg, make sure it's not out to the side. Try and get straight in front of you. Again, use a belt. Bend your knee if you need to. This may be as far forward as you can go right now. We're working our hips here, and these are notoriously strong muscles. Taking the bind if you can. Think about this side of your body. You're going to try and take your sternum down over your left leg, so this side of your body has to lengthen. As you inhale and coming up, open your chest. Exhale, release. Transition. Right leg extends, left foot draws inside right thigh. Again, check the orientation of your leg. As you fold forward, think about there's a rotation. Sometimes it helps to take your left hand to the outside of your right foot to help you twist, coming down. But then once you're down, put your left hand back where it belongs on the left side of your foot. One more breath. And as you inhale, look forward, open your collarbones and lengthen your spine. Exhale, release. We're going to transition to Janusz Asanasi B. So again, left leg is extended, but this time you're going to sit on your right foot. So initially this might be really uncomfortable, so you can kind of use your hands on the floor to kind of take some of the weight off, but eventually you'll get used to it. It's sort of like the first time if you ever rode a road bike with a really skinny seat. It feels like, okay, this is like really uncomfortable. But after a while, your muscles learn, so it can hover you off your foot. One more breath. And then let's vinyasa, or transition. Right leg extends, you're sitting on your left foot. Exhale, folding to the extent that you can fold. We won't stay here too long, so I know it's In the beginning, this is really uncomfortable. Guys have to be really careful. And inhale. We're going to transition to Janusz Asanasi. Now, if you've never seen this one before, you're going to think, okay, this is really weird. Extend your left leg. You're going to take your right foot, draw the heel up. And don't worry if, it took me years to get my heel up and my knee down, so don't worry about it if it doesn't go there. Just be aware and be gentle. Besides, the position of the foot is not that important. We're trying to get a different rotation on our hips. That's the part that's actually more important. So let's do Janusz Asanasi with right leg extended and left foot. Your knee may be up, that's fine. If your knee is floating, to protect it, you may want to put a block under it or put your belt around it and just give your knee some support. Inhale. So release. We're going to transition to Matsuyasana A. For Matsuyasana A, again, right leg is going to extend, and left leg is going to extend. You're going to put your right foot on the ground. I'll turn this way so you can see what I'm doing. I'm leaving space here because I'm going to drop my body down here. And I'm going to try and take a wrap with my arm. So I'm going to think about dropping your shoulder down. And I'll turn so you can see what I'm doing. Wrap your arm around. And instead of taking your hand down low, try and bring it up. So that way you might be able to catch your opposite wrist. Now if that doesn't work, you can also put a belt between your hands. And you're going to exhale and fold. Then inhale, coming up. Exhale, release. Vinyasa to the other side. So now right leg extends. Again, leave some space here so your body has some place to go. Think about dropping your shoulder down. Just drop as far as you can. Reach your hand out. You're going to sweep it around. And again, take your hand up high, not low. Take your hand up as high as you can so you can get your wrist and kind of walk it up and then fold forward. So keep your legs engaged here so you don't feel like you're falling over. I'm pressing the back of my right leg into the ground. I can also feel my left foot on the floor. As I inhale, I'm going to reach your chest forward. Exhale, release. And let's transition to Matsuyasana B. There's four Matsuyasas, A, B, C, and D, but we're only going to do A, B, and C. For Matsuyasana B, you're going to take your left leg and put it up on your right thigh. Now, if that's not working for you, you can just put it where you can. Make sure your foot is not over-flexed. If you flex, your ankle's not over-flexed. If you flex your foot, it helps to keep your ankle a little bit straighter. Now, to do the full asana, you're going to pull your leg up into lotus, bring your right foot in. Again, you're going to take that same bind we did in Matsuyasana A. Now, if that's not working for you, what you can also do is put your leg up in lotus and sit up. Because what we're trying to work on is the movement in our in our hips. So you can do that. Now, if you can get your foot into full lotus and you take the bind, again, you're going to take your hand up, not down. As if you take your hands down, they probably won't reach. Now we're going to transition to right leg in half lotus. So again, right leg in lotus. You may stay here and try and press your knee down toward the ground. As you press your knee down, you're strengthening the muscles. You're also developing more, hopefully developing more rotation in your hip. Now you can take a full asana. I'm using my hand to hold my leg in as I drop my shoulder down, reach my arm out. And again, going higher up rather than lower down so I can get my wrists. And again, a belt may come in handy here. If you notice, my left buttock is lifting off the floor. I'm also pressing into my left foot to keep myself from falling over. And exhale, release. And let's transition for the last Matsuyasana that we're going to do. Matsuyasana C, you're going to have your left leg extended, right knee bent with the foot on the floor, but this time you can bring your foot right next to it because we're going to twist. There's several modifications. You can twist like this, look over your right shoulder. You can think about dropping your shoulder. If you can, step on your hand and look behind your shoulder. Or, and it took me years to do this, drop your shoulder down, work it around, and then hook. My legs are very active so I don't fall over here. A couple things on this one. If you have long legs, it's relatively easy to bind. With my body length, my body proportions, my arm just swings completely over my knee. So to hook, I have to really drop and really curl down to get that bind. Okay, so take a look at your leg length, your arm length, and you may have to modify. Now let's do it on the other side with right leg extended. So again, left foot close to the side. You can hug your leg in, look over your shoulder. If you can reach down and step on your hands, just watch your elbow. Try not to hyperextend it. Or curling down, really dropping down, and work your hand around. If you've got really long arms, this is going to be easy for you. I'm really pressing out to my right foot so I don't fall over. And exhale, release. At this point, I'd like to switch to second series. There's a whole bunch of primary series postures we haven't done, but I do want to throw in some second series. And the reason for that is, if you notice, a lot of our primary stuff is forward folding. A lot of it is working on our hips. It's also building stamina, if you notice all the vinyasas. Second series now is more front opening or back bending. So I'm going to skip the first asana of second series, which is Pashasana. I'm going to go to the second asana, which is Kranchasana. Oh, looking at the time, we're going to have to speed this up a little bit. So, Kranchasana, the leg position is very similar to Triangle Mukha, with your left leg extended, right folded back, except now you're going to, instead of folding forward over your leg, you're going to try and bring your leg up. Your hands are going to be about in the arch area, so you can point your toe. You're going to draw your leg up. You may have to, in the beginning, keep your knee bent. That's fine. Exit asana, open. Exhale, release. So actually, if you're having trouble with Triangle Mukha, folding forward, you may not want to do Kranchasana, because it may just be more than your hamstrings want to deal with right now. So again, remember, if you want to do this, go ahead and bend your knee. Eventually, you're going to work toward a straight knee. Inhale, open. Exhale, Vinyasa. Now I'm going to skip the third posture in second series. I'm going to go to the fourth posture, which is Bekasana. So you would lay down on your stomach. And if you can do both legs at a time, you're going to bend your knees, bring your feet towards your head. If you can, if you notice my fingers and my toes are facing the same direction, this may not happen for you at first. Your fingers may be facing towards your knees, and that's fine. In fact, let's do it one leg at a time instead of two legs. So I'm going to prop myself up on my left elbow. So my left elbow is going to be under my body, so I'm up. I'm bending my right leg. Try to, if you're really tight here, when you do this, you're going to tend to roll upwards. What you want to try and do is keep this as flat on the floor as you can. And rather than worry about turning our fingers, right now we're just going to take the top of our foot in our hand, and we're going to bring our knee down, our foot down. Keep lifting to your torso. Breathe and open through the front of your psoas. And then we'll release. Then we'll repeat with our left leg. So right elbow under your body, bend your right knee, reaching back, pull your foot. Actually, your foot goes outside your hips, not right to your buttock. Go slightly outside, lift your chest. Dristi is down your nose. And then release. Up dog, down dog. And now we're going to do Dhanurasana. You're going to bend both knees, reach your hands back, holding about your ankles. And lift your thighs up, lift your chest up. As you press your hands, your feet into your hands, it's going to help you open your shoulders more. And then release down. Vinyasa. Up dog, down dog. Back down into your stomach. Now we're going to roll into your side. I'm not sure how well this is going to work with this battery pack on my side. I'm going to bend both knees, grab your ankles. Inhale, lifting up. Lift as high as you can. And you're going to roll over to your right side. Again, keep pressing your ankles into your hands, opening the front of your body. Think about down around your psoas, your groin area. Try and open that too. And inhale, back to center. And exhale over to your left side. So you're going to think about opening the front of your body, opening your shoulders as you press your ankles into your feet. Try and keep your ear off the floor. And then roll back to center. And lift one more time. And then release. Okay. We did that to start opening the front of our body. Now we're going to do Ustrasana. Ustrasana is Camel Pose. Your feet, the top of your feet can be flat on the floor, or you can flex your feet so your heels are a little higher up. You can leave your hands on your back or on the back of your thighs as you lean back. The main thing is, a lot of the control is in the front, is in your thighs. To lean back, I find it easier if you keep looking forward, keep your legs engaged, reach back, find your heels, and then let your head drop back. And then imagine you're a sail and there's a wind filling your back, pushing your hips forward, lifting your chest. And to come back up, keep looking back, thighs engage. Now your head can come up and you can vinyasa. Let me show you what happens when you're coming out of the asana and your head wants to lead. So again, to go back, and I'm going to keep looking down as I bend my back, find my heels, but my arms are not necessary because it's my legs that are doing the control. Now say I've done my 5 breaths. If my head comes up first, everything collapses down. So to come back up, think hips forward, keep looking back, coming up. I nearly fell on my face, but my thighs squeezed inward and stopped from pitching forward on my face. Now, the counter pose for that back bend is Bakasana or crane. So you can try this if you want. Put your hands, fingers spread wide on the floor in front of you. Bend your elbows. Put your knees on the back of your arm. You have to tip forward. And this in itself is kind of scary, so this may be where you want to stay. Your hands are very active. But if you can also bring your feet together and lift your legs off the floor. And then jumping back, or just step out of the posture. So you can stay here. You can lift 1 foot at a time. Keep breathing. You can just put your feet back down to come out of the asana, or you can try and jump out of it. Keep looking slightly forward. And up dog, and down dog. We got time for one more second series posture, and then we're going to have to go into closing sequence. So this one is Parigrasana. Extending your left leg, right leg folded back, hands on your waist, then turn away from your left leg. So now you're going to try and bend over. I'm going to put my left hand down on the floor. I'm going to reach my right hand over. Find my foot, and then take my other hand over. My upper elbow, I'm trying to lift it toward the ceiling, gaze up under my arm, try to keep breathing at the same time. One more breath. As you inhale, come up, hands on your waist. I'm going to transition. So right leg is forward, left is folded back. You can also bring your leg inward if your knee doesn't want to bend that way, or you can even keep both legs straight if your knees just don't want to bend in any direction. So you can hands on waist, turn away from your right leg. Right hand down the floor, help me anchor. Left hand comes over, right hand finds my foot. Left elbow lifts to the ceiling. I'm going to gaze up under my arm toward the ceiling. Try to breathe at the same time. Left side lengthening. Top crown of the head reaching toward your foot. One more breath. So inhale, coming up, hands to waist. Now we're going to do vinyasa again. And now, the good part, you get to lay down on your back for back bends. This is the start of our closing sequence. So you can do a modified back bend. You can clasp your hands under your body, walk your shoulders in as close as you can. Keep pressing into your feet so your legs are very active. Your inner thighs are doing a lot of work. You're going to do 3 back bends, 5 breaths each. So you can do 3 of those. You might warm up with one of those, and you can do a full Dhanurasana. In this position, it's really hard to tell. When your feet are, you're duck-footed, it actually feels like your feet are straight. So it helps if somebody can look at your feet and tell if your feet are parallel. If you're trying to work on your stamina, you can just touch your head down, walk your hands in closer. Coming up again. Again, inner thighs are active. Feet are pressing into the floor. I'm trying to straighten my knees as much as I can. And then lowering down. Sit up. Counter pose, Paschimottanasana. We're going to transition to laying on our back again. So if you want, you can just lay down. Now we're going to go into shoulder stand. So legs up, and keep the backs of your knees open. It helps if your legs are strong. You're going to lift and put your hands on your back. Come up as high as you can. Your gaze is somewhere around your navel. Try and keep pointing through your toes. Try and keep your legs straight. 8 breaths, 10 breaths. Somewhere around there. I'm doing a little bit less simply because of the time. Lower your legs on Halasana. If you can clasp your hands on the floor behind you. You can press into your triceps so you can lift a little higher. Keep the backs of your knees open. Keep pointing through your toes. Active legs. Again, 8 breaths or 10 breaths. You're going to bend your knees around your ears. Karnapidasana. It's going to be a little harder to breathe in this position. Now you're going to come back up towards shoulder stand. And if you can take your legs in Lotus, go ahead. Otherwise, you can take your legs in Pavrita Trikonasana, where the soles of your feet are together and your toes are pointing up to the ceiling and your knees point out to the side. But if you can bring your right leg down, Lotus. You can use one hand to pull your foot in. Use your other hand to pull this foot in. And if you're hip enough on your shoulders, you can take your hands to your knees. Keep pulling your Lotus tight. Keep pulling your knees towards each other. And then dropping your knees down. And now, hands on the mat behind you. You're going to roll down. If you're still in Lotus, you want to remain in Lotus, that's fine. You're just going to go into Matsuyasana, moving head and buttocks closer together, lifting your chest. If you're still in Lotus, you're going to grab your feet, keep lifting. If you're in straight legs, straighten your legs, but keep lifting your chest. Keep thinking that you're pulling head and buttocks closer together. Keep your chest lifted. Now, if you are in Lotus, undo your Lotus. We're going to come into the next asana where you lift your legs, point your toes about 45 degrees. If you can, you're going to put your hands together like you're clapping straight elbows. Keep pulling head and buttocks closer together. Keep that arch. One more breath. And then release down. I like to take my legs over my head after that one, just to release the curve that we just went through. The next asana is headstand. So it's important to measure your elbows off before you open your arms out so you have a nice triangle. And to find the right position on top of your head, this is not a Three Stooges joke, okay? This is for real. You take the palm of your hand, put it on the bridge of your nose, reach your finger up, and where your middle finger lands, that's where you're going to be on your head. Okay, because if you're too far forward, you can see the angle of my neck. If you're too far back, you're just going to roll over. So you want to do this Three Stooges move, and then so you know where that spot is. It's important to walk your toes as close in as you can. So your hips are over your head, so your legs are light, and you can come up all the way. Now, I'm going to show you against the wall what happens if your shoulders are really tight and you can't walk in that close. Say this is about as far in as you can walk. You're not going to be able to lever yourself over, because if you get your hips over your head, then your legs can come up. But if you can't get your hips over your head, you're pretty much going to have to jump. And in this case, have a wall handy. One leg or the other will feel more comfortable coming up, so you got to find which leg that is for you. Bring that leg up and kick. Important thing is keep your arms engaged, keep your neck strong, keep on the top of your head. Dristi is like distant. Don't look right down in front of you, because then it's going to be really hard. So get in the headstand. Make sure you keep this engaged and you keep this engaged. If your elbows slide out, you're going to get all wobbly. If you let your neck go, you compromise your neck, okay? So that was headstand. Typically, you hold it for 10 breaths. Oh, the other very important thing is your legs. Try and keep your legs engaged, pulling together. If your legs are wobbly, your headstand's going to get very, very, very difficult. So here I'm letting my legs be loose, and I'm all over the place. If I engage my legs, then I can get stable. So if you find some days you're really jiggly, look at your legs. What are your legs doing? Okay, after we do our headstand, for like 10 breaths, 20 breaths, whatever works for you, I'm going to take child's pose. For about 5 breaths. And only a couple more vinyasas, I promise. And I'm going to do our pranayama. So take a comfortable seated position, whatever it may be for you. It can be cross legs. It can be half lotus, it can be full lotus. You can take your hands out in front of you. You can take your elbows behind you. But if your lotus is tight enough, what you can do is reach your left hand behind, take your right toes, reach your right hand out, take your left toes, And fold forward and breathe. It's okay. Everybody, let's take whatever position you're going to be in. And let's take staying in your Ujjayi breath now. Take one more deep breath. Inhale. We're going to change hand positions now. So take your hands in Yana Mudra, thumb and forefinger touching, last 3 fingers extended down. Sit up nice and straight. Feel your sits bones. Feel the back of your neck nice and long. Let your chin drop slightly. And now for the last pranayama. If you're in Lotus, pull your Lotus in nice and tight, put your hands on the floor, and you're going to lift. Now if you're not in Lotus, the next best thing I think is not half Lotus, but cross legs. So you're going to lean forward slightly, put your hands on the floor, pressing into your feet, the sides of your feet pressing into your hands, and lift up and breathe. Now, if you're in half Lotus, it just doesn't work because one foot stays on the floor, the other one, and you get really lopsided. So either Lotus or cross legs, I think, is the best. Look slightly forward. And now, the last vinyasa, I promise you. Or you can even skip this one if you want to. But if you're doing it, enjoy the up dog. Press sternum forward, press pubic bone down toward the floor, point the toes back. Exhale, down dog, and enjoy the down dog. Reaching through your side body, reaching your hips back, your sits bones back, your arms forward. And then the thing we all came to class for, Savasana. Let everything go. Let your Ujjayi breath go. Let your bandhas go. Palms face the ceiling. Eyes closed. What feels really nice, if you have a nice heavy blanket, put it across your body, weighing this portion down. It's very grounding. It's very comforting. And sometimes we all need that grounding comfort.